I was on a long road trip, and it was one of those long, boring road trips. And my traveling companion said, "Tell me a story." And I said, "Sure. What do you want a story about?" And I was told the story needed to be about a road, a pumpkin, and a silver platter. So this is the story. Once upon a time, there was a road that ran from nothing to nowhere. And as you'd expect, it was rarely used. Who in their right mind wants to go from nothing to nowhere? And no surprise, the road was very lonely. All day long, while the sun baked the road thought about tires. The road thought about car tires, truck tires, tires on big 18-wheelers. When the road was really upset, she'd think about the little wheels on roller skates and skateboards. And when she was truly desperate, she'd think about pogo sticks. At night, when the moon and the stars swam through the sky, the road just pined with loneliness. One morning, when the sun came up, the road made a decision. If anything was going to change, it was because she made it change. And so she started to scheme and think and noodle a bit. And she started thinking about the pumpkins that were in the patch at the nothing end of the road. Now, there are two things you need to know about pumpkins. The first, pumpkins are excruciatingly vain. They worry about their color. Do they have too much orange or too much yellow in their skin? They worry about their shape. Are they too round or are they too oval? They fret about the curvature of their stem. They even worry about the number of nubbins on their stem. The other thing you need to know about pumpkins. Pumpkins have legs. Now, I know this sounds strange, but pumpkins are quite smart, and they know that if we knew they had legs, we would expect them to leave the pumpkin patch, walk into our homes, up into our kitchen counters where we'd cut them up, turn them into pumpkin pie. So they sit tight on their legs. But their legs are rather elegant, and they end in the cutest little feet, and their feet, all the way around the feet, little caterpillar toes. Cutest thing in the world. Well, the road thought about these pumpkins, and then it thought about the sterling silver platter that had bounced out of one of the few trucks that had ever gone down the road. And so early in the morning, when the pumpkins were the most suggestible, the road began its murmuring campaign. Oh, you would be so beautiful, seated on the sterling silver platter, the moonlight pouring down. You would be elegance itself. You would be a vision. You would be très distingué. Finally, one of the more adventuresome pumpkins pulled himself out of the pumpkin patch and walked all the way from nothing to nowhere. The road was aesthetic. Those wonderful little pumpkin toes. Oh my God, it was extraordinary. And the pumpkin got to the platter and plopped down. It struck poses. It admired itself. But it realized it would be really more fun to have other pumpkins there to admire it. And so it walked all the way back to the pumpkin patch and got 2 more pumpkins. And all 3 walked back, and they would take turns sitting on the platter and posing. Well, before long, there was a constant stream of vain ambulatory pumpkins going from nothing to nowhere and nowhere to nothing. Now, it was very good for the pumpkins because it improved their color and they got a little firmer. The exercise was good for them. And of course, the sterling silver platter enjoyed the attention, and the road never tired of those little pumpkin toes. So, a story that involves a road, a pumpkin, and a silver platter ended very, very well. Thank you. I'd like to tell just one more, a little short one. Arnold Lobel is ostensibly a children's author, but he wrote a book called Fables You Shouldn't Pay Any Attention to. And this is a story I truly love. There once was a camel, and she decided she wanted to be a ballet dancer, to make every movement a thing of beauty and grace. That is my one desire. And so she worked every single day. She did all 5 positions thousands of times. She worked on her leaps, her releves, her arabesques, her pirouettes. She worked till her feet were cracked, her muscles screamed, and not once did she think of quitting. Finally, the day came, her premiere, and she danced. She danced better than she had ever danced in her life. Her dancing was met with embarrassed silence. And finally, the oldest camel said,
Dumpy, you are lumpy and bumpy. You are not, and you never will be a ballet dancer.
and the camels moved off, chuffing and chortling. That camel thought about what the critic had said, and she said, that's not true. I am a ballet dancer. I have worked very, very hard, and I like doing it. And she continued to dance for years. And the best thing, it gave her great pleasure.